Boxing has never just been about fists. It's been about fury, pride, politics, and passion. The greatest rivalries in the sport's history weren't born in press conferences. They were forged through blood, bruises, and unforgettable battles in the ring. These clashes didn't just crown champions, they shaped legacies and divided entire nations. From Ali and Frazier's war of wills to Pacquiao and Márquez's chess match of violence, every rivalry on this list brought out something primal, something legendary. These are the fights where styles clashed, tempers flared, and history was written in sweat and pain. So tighten your gloves and lean in, because this is where hate turned to greatness. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. It was more than just a rivalry. It was war in the ring and a clash of ideologies outside of it. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier defined an era of boxing and divided a nation. Their first meeting in 1971, billed as the fight of the century, saw two undefeated champions collide at Madison Square Garden. Ali, the outspoken poetic icon of social change, met Frazier, the blue-collar workhorse with a left hook forged in steel. For 15 rounds, they traded leather in a brutal, high-stakes ballet. But it was Frazier who dropped Ali in the 15th and handed him his first professional loss. The rematch in 1974 saw Ali even the score, but it was their third and final meeting, the legendary thriller in Manila, that pushed both men to their limits. In the sweltering heat of the Philippines, they unleashed everything they had, with Frazier's face swollen shut by the 14th. His corner stopped the fight before the final round, and Ali, victorious but shattered, famously called it the closest thing to dying he'd ever experienced. Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta. Before trilogies became a trend, Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta gave us a 6-fight saga that read like a boxing opera. Their rivalry was raw and violent, with LaMotta, known as the Bronx Bull, being the only man to hand Robinson a defeat in his first 130 bouts. But Robinson would exact his revenge again and again in a series of fights that highlighted his fluid brilliance and LaMotta's granite chin. Their most infamous battle came in 1951, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. In a savage display of dominance, Robinson unloaded on LaMotta in one of the most punishing beatings ever televised. But LaMotta refused to go down, famously taunting, "You never got me down, Ray." Though he lost that night, LaMotta's toughness became legend, and Robinson's artistry earned him a place at the top of boxing's pantheon. Together, they created a rivalry that was less about hate and more about legacy. And both men left the ring etched in history. Arturo Gatti versus Micky Ward. Arturo Gatti and Micky Ward didn't just fight each other. They bled together in what became one of the most beloved trilogies in boxing history. These weren't polished, tactical affairs. These were all-out wars fueled by grit, pride, and heart. When they first met in 2002, fans were treated to a savage masterpiece, particularly round 9, where both men exchanged bombs in a sequence that left even hardened veterans in awe. Ward took the majority decision that night, but it was clear this rivalry was just beginning. Gatti roared back in the rematch, boxing smarter while still absorbing punishing shots, earning a unanimous decision. The rubber match was another blood-and-gut spectacle, with both fighters battling through broken hands, swollen faces, and sheer exhaustion. Gatti won the final bout on points, but there were no losers in this rivalry. The respect between them grew with each bell, and their trilogy came to symbolize everything that's pure about boxing: toughness, mutual respect, and leaving it all in the ring. Erik Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera. When Mexico's finest warriors clashed, it was personal and violent. Erik Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera gave us a rivalry soaked in national pride, mutual disdain, and elite-level violence. Their first encounter in 2000 was a brutal back-and-forth battle that saw Morales win a controversial split decision, though many believed Barrera had done enough. The fight was so electric, it was named Fight of the Year, and fans demanded more. In 2002, they met again, this time with Barrera adjusting brilliantly, using movement and ring IQ to frustrate Morales and win a razor-close majority decision. By the time their third fight rolled around in 2004, the rivalry had matured into a chess match with blood. Barrera edged out a majority decision once again, sealing the trilogy and leaving the boxing world in awe. These weren't just fights. They were national events, emotional roller coasters that turned two bitter enemies into boxing legends. Even today, mention Morales versus Barrera to any fan and you'll see a spark ignite. Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Márquez. Few rivalries in boxing history are as fiercely debated or as evenly matched as Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Márquez. Over the course of 4 unforgettable fights, the Filipino whirlwind and the Mexican technician delivered non-stop drama. Their first clash in 2004 set the tone. Pacquiao dropped Márquez 3 times in the first round, only for Márquez to stage a stunning comeback and earn a draw. Their 2008 rematch was just as razor-thin, with Pacquiao eking out a split decision that left Márquez and many fans fuming. The trilogy fight in 2011 ended with another controversial Pacquiao win, and Márquez, feeling robbed once more, demanded a 4th shot. That decision led to one of the most iconic knockouts in boxing history. In December 2012, after trading knockdowns and heavy leather, Márquez uncorked a perfectly timed counter right hand in round 6 that put Pacquiao face down and motionless on the canvas. It was shocking, poetic justice for Márquez, and a moment frozen in boxing lore. Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. On paper, it was a mismatch. George Foreman was the undefeated wrecking ball who had demolished both Joe Frazier and Ken Norton in 2 rounds apiece. Muhammad Ali, older, slower, and viewed as a massive underdog heading into the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974. But what unfolded in Zaire was one of the greatest tactical masterpieces the sport has ever seen. Ali baited Foreman into punching himself out by leaning on the ropes and taunting him, a strategy now known as rope-a-dope. Round after round, the hulking Foreman poured on the power shots, and Ali absorbed them with calculated resilience. Then, in round 8, with Foreman's gas tank finally empty, Ali struck like lightning. A right hand over the top dropped Foreman to the canvas and stunned the world. Ali had just reclaimed the heavyweight title by outthinking and outlasting the most feared man in the division. It was brilliance under fire, an underdog triumph that became an immortal moment. Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. When Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield finally faced off in 1996, it was more than a heavyweight title fight. It was the collision of 2 wildly different legacies. Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, was a ferocious puncher feared across the globe. Holyfield, the real deal, was seen as a washed-up former cruiserweight with too much mileage. But Holyfield shocked the world by dominating Tyson with physical strength and technical savvy, stopping him in the 11th round and proving he wasn't just durable, he was better. The rematch in 1997, however, turned into one of the most infamous nights in boxing history. Frustrated and outboxed, Tyson snapped in round 3, biting off a chunk of Holyfield's ear. The fight was stopped, Tyson was disqualified, and the chaos cemented the rivalry in the annals of boxing madness. Holyfield had won both in the ring and in legacy, while Tyson's meltdown became a cautionary tale of squandered greatness. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. In an era starved for heavyweight drama, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder delivered a trilogy that reignited the division's thunder, and then some. Their clash was as much about personality as it was power. Wilder, the Alabama knockout artist with 10-ton fists and a perfect record, versus Fury, the unpredictable British giant with slick movement, sharp wit, and a comeback story for the ages. Their first bout in 2018 was electric. Fury outboxed Wilder for most of the night, but was dropped twice, including a jaw-dropping 12th round knockdown that he miraculously rose from, like a man possessed. The fight was ruled a draw, but unfinished business lingered. In the 2020 rematch, Fury flipped the script, walking Wilder down and battering him into a 7th round stoppage. The rubber match in 2021 was a heavyweight epic. 5 knockdowns, wild momentum swings, and a brutal Fury knockout in round 11 that sealed the saga. More than just great fights, this rivalry brought the heavyweight division roaring back to life. Oscar de la Hoya versus Félix Trinidad. In 1999, 2 undefeated stars, Oscar de la Hoya and Félix Tito Trinidad, met in a high-stakes battle billed as the Fight of the Millennium. With national pride on the line for both Mexico-American and Puerto Rican fans, the bout was more than just for titles. It was cultural warfare. De la Hoya boxed brilliantly for the first 9 rounds, controlling the action with sharp footwork and slick combinations. But in the final rounds, he chose to coast, believing he had the win in the bag. That tactical error gave Trinidad the edge in the judges' eyes. In a controversial majority decision, Trinidad was declared the winner, sparking outrage among De La Hoya's fans and igniting a debate that still lingers today. The fight never got its rematch, but its legacy endures as a reminder of how one mistake can cost a fighter everything, even when they seemingly had the fight won. Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling. Few rivalries ever carried the weight of Joe Louis and Max Schmeling. In 1936, Schmeling, a former champion from Nazi Germany, shocked the world by knocking out the undefeated Louis in the 12th round. The result sent political shockwaves across the globe, with Adolf Hitler hailing Schmeling's victory as proof of Aryan superiority. But Louis took the loss personally, and the rematch became far more than sport. In 1938, in front of a radio audience of 70 million, Louis obliterated Schmeling in just over 2 minutes, knocking him down 3 times and ending the fight in the first round. It was a resounding statement, not just of revenge, but of national pride, unity, and the power of boxing to reflect global tensions. Ironically, the 2 men would go on to become lifelong friends, proving that even the most politically charged rivalries can lead to mutual respect and understanding. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Durán. What began as pure animosity turned into one of the most dramatic trilogies in boxing history. Sugar Ray Leonard, the golden boy with dazzling speed and charisma, met his antithesis in Roberto Durán, the snarling brawler from Panama known as Hands of Stone. In their first bout in June 1980, Durán pulled Leonard into a street fight and bullied his way to a narrow victory, handing Leonard his first loss. The rematch 5 months later flipped the script. Leonard danced, taunted, and outclassed Durán, who infamously quit in the 8th round with the words, "No mas." The image of Durán turning his back still haunts highlight reels. A third fight years later saw Leonard outpoint an older, slower Durán, but by then the rivalry had mellowed into respect. Still, that moment, Durán quitting in frustration, remains one of the most shocking in boxing, and it sealed their feud as one of the most unforgettable in the sport's storied history. From technical masterpieces to raw slugfests, these rivalries remind us why boxing is the greatest drama on earth. Because nothing beats the electricity of 2 warriors with everything on the line and a score to settle. Whether it ended in poetic revenge, bitter controversy, or a knockout heard around the world, each of these feuds gave fans a reason to believe in the magic of the fight game. And the best part? Boxing never stops writing new chapters. So stay tuned, because the next legendary rivalry might already be warming up in the shadows of the ring.